Dumisang, ba ba itsenang mo kgoneng e jaanong. Ka re o iphanishitse mo kgoneng e jaanong. Okay, Dumisang. Ba ba itsenang this thing is starting at 9, okay? Ka re o iphanishitse mo kgoneng e jaanong. Okay, Dumisang. Ba ba itsenang this thing is starting at 9, okay? Ka re o iphanishitse mo kgoneng e jaanong. Okay, Dumisang. Ba ba itsenang this thing is starting at 9, okay? Ka re o iphanishitse mo kgoneng e jaanong. Okay, Dumisang. Have you figured everything out? Ba ba itsenang this thing is starting at 9, okay? Ka re o iphanishitse mo kgoneng e jaanong. Okay, Dumisang. Have you figured everything out? Ba ba itsenang this thing is starting at 9, okay?
But we need your computer because it's showing everything on my screen, so we need to enter it.
Okay, Dumisang. Have you figured everything out? Ba ba itsenang this thing is starting at 9, okay?
But we need your
Ka re o
computer
iphanishitse mo
because
kgoneng
it's
e
showing
jaanong.
everything on my screen, so we need to enter it.
Okay, Dumisang. Have you figured everything out? Ba ba itsenang this thing is starting at 9, okay?
But we need your
Ka re o
computer
iphanishitse mo
because
kgoneng
it's
e
showing
jaanong.
everything on my screen, so we need to enter it.
Okay, Dumisang. Have you figured everything out? Ba ba itsenang this thing is starting at 9, okay?
But we need your
Ka re o
computer
iphanishitse mo
because
kgoneng
it's
e
showing
jaanong.
everything on my screen, so we need to enter it.
Okay, Dumisang. Have you figured everything out? Ba ba itsenang this thing is starting at 9, okay?
But we need your
Ka re o
computer
iphanishitse mo
because
kgoneng
it's
e
showing
jaanong.
everything on my screen, so we need to enter it.
Okay, Dumisang. Have you figured everything out? Ba ba itsenang this thing is starting at 9, okay?
But we need your
Ka re o
computer
iphanishitse mo
because
kgoneng
it's
e
showing
jaanong.
everything on my screen, so we need to enter it.
Okay, Dumisang. Have you figured everything out? Ba ba itsenang this thing is starting at 9, okay?
But we need your
Ka re o
computer
iphanishitse mo
because
kgoneng
it's
e
showing
jaanong.
everything on my screen, so it seems like because
Okay, Dumisang. Have you figured everything out? Ba ba itsenang this thing is starting at 9, okay?
your comments and
Ka re o
stuff, so
iphanishitse mo kgoneng e jaanong.
it seems like because
Okay, Dumisang. Have you figured everything out? Ba ba itsenang this thing is starting at 9, okay? Ka re o iphanishitse mo kgoneng e jaanong.
seems like because
Okay, Dumisang. Have you figured everything out? Ba ba itsenang this thing is starting at 9, okay? Ka re o iphanishitse mo kgoneng e jaanong. Okay, Dumisang. Have you figured everything out? Ba ba itsenang this thing is starting at 9, okay? Ka re o iphanishitse mo kgoneng e jaanong. Okay, Dumisang. Have you figured everything out? Ba ba itsenang this thing is starting at 9, okay? Ka re o iphanishitse mo kgoneng e jaanong. Okay, Dumisang. Have you figured everything out? Ba ba itsenang this thing is starting at 9, okay? Ka re o iphanishitse mo
Hi, 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 hi. Nothing. Uh, how many people have joined us so far? Hi, 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 hi.
Yeah,
Nothing.
yeah, there we go.
That's a lot better. How many people have joined us so far? Hi, 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 hi.
Yeah,
Nothing.
yeah, there we go.
That's a lot better. How many people have joined us so far? Hi,
We
hi, hi,
are
hi, hi.
live, we are live, we are
Nothing.
live.
Yeah, there we go. That's a lot better. How many people have joined us so far? Hi,
We
hi, hi,
are
hi, hi.
live, we are live, we are
Nothing.
live.
Yeah, there we go. That's a lot better. How many people have joined us so
Good
far?
morning, good morning, good morning. Let's wait for a few people to join us.
Yeah, there we go.
We'll give them until like 10 past-ish. Or good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's wait for a few people to join us. We'll give them until like 10 past-ish. Or good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's wait for a few people to join us. We'll give them until Zogo. hello, 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 hello. Live broadcasting is always tricky. I've got a few other people who are coming on now. 2 more minutes, then we start. 1 minute to go. And it's officially 9:10, and we are going to start with our presentation um, on the property market insights. To those that we have seen before, compliments of the new season. Thank you all for joining this presentation. And in simple terms, we're going to try and share property insights with you. And before I go on to the actual presentation, I'm going to do the introduction. So my name is Tebe Manake. I'm the founder of Vantage Properties, and I'm going to leave you with Dumi Lueto to do the presentation on the property market insights, and then we'll continue our conversation on the chat or whether it's on Twitter or on different social media platforms with regards to what we're going to share with you today. So, my goal will be doing the company introduction, then hand over to Dumi to serve you what we call the main course, which is the property insights. Then maybe we'll come back towards the a Q&A at the end. If you've joined us on YouTube, welcome. And if you've joined us or you're going to listen to us at a later stage, please put in your comments so that we can be able to continue going forward. So at Vantage Properties, we pride ourselves with mission, a vision of driving informed decision making in real estate in Botswana and across the continent. The decision path which we are on is the decision path that you are on varies depending on the kind of investment that you want to undertake. It's kind of tricky, but hopefully you can all hear me. Depending on the kind of investment that you want to undertake. So for us, it's important that we determine the risk that is associated with the kind of services that you want to get from us, and we try to balance between your capabilities or what you want to earn against your exposure to risk. And with all of the decisions that you make, you require all the full data that you need because the level of capital investment that comes in is it's always high when it comes to real estate. So we want to make sure that your all of your decisions are well informed and you're able to benefit the most that you can possibly benefit. Even at a personal level, whether you're investing as a company or rather at a personal level, nobody gets into real estate for fun. Everybody's looking to gain some kind of return, whether through capital growth or income growth. And oftentimes, real estate offers us a physical safety and security for our families. It even goes further to finance our passions and hobbies, secures wealth for our children, and therefore it is absolutely crucial that when we make those decisions, we do not end up with the unintended result of extreme loss and being in a more worse off position than we do not want to undertake in that endeavor. Our general services are market research, similar to what we are going to present to you today. Um, track we track market trends and household behavior. The outlets are your newsletter. Now we've got this YouTube channel, quarterly reports, annual reports, bespoke client-led market research, investment advisory services, some of the things that we do. Our research enables us to deliver various reports and analysis to our customers that have specific projects and investments. For us, it is important that whenever you invest in property, you know the risks and you know the opportunities that are there. And we provide these services under our investment advisory services. Go Smart Value is one of our flagship products or our flagship project, and that is introducing a new way of undertaking valuations and making information available to our customers right at a click of a button. So today is not a pitch. You ask for a presentation on our market research or rather the property market insights. I will go into that very quickly, or Demi will go into that very quickly. So how do we provide our services to you, and why is it important for you to listen to the kind of information that we deliver to you? Um, our approach is that we assess and we determine your needs And what is crucial is determining the level of risk that is associated with the activities that you want to do, whether it's buying a house, building a multi-res, or building or entering into any commercial type of property. And we prioritize what we see as things that are of high risk at that particular time that we are seeing that the environment provides you. So the most important thing is to inform your risk mitigation approach so that you can know how to take care of things that might come across. Um, at a personal level also, so I'm going to keep moving between a business level and a personal level. Personal level, your drive is to build wealth and a better future for yourself and your family, and that always commands you to ask questions like, is it the right time to invest? Are there opportunities? Are there opportunities that I'm looking at the right price, in the right place? Is it time for me to exit? Should I be selling now? Should I be buying now? And how do I optimize what I have so far? And these are the questions that we seek to answer. As I step off right now, I hand over to Tumi, who's going to go through the actual market um, information, the actual market insights. And before we go into that, just a little summary of who we are for those of you who have never interacted with us before. We've been around in Botswana for a little over 12 years, 100% citizen owned, female led, and we were recently awarded Most Innovative Real Estate Data Analytics Specialist in Africa by the Global Artificial Intelligence Awards. And that speaks to the kind of technology and the depth of analysis we engage in to give aid to our clients and people like yourselves. As no business endeavor has got, uh, as no business endeavor, aspirations or property is the same, we provide tailor-made solutions to our clients, leveraging of the capabilities of our technology. We are a 95% youth staff, and therefore we try as much as possible to be nimble. We emphasize on our agility, capacity, energy, and the impact you are making when you support us or when you work with us. We care about you as much as you expect us to care about us. So there, Tumi-san goes.
Hi guys. Um, hi guys. I'm just going to be giving you a little bit about what's happening in the property market, what we anticipate to see in 2021. So my duty here in Vantage Properties is simply to turn data into information that we can all understand and comprehend. And because I have a lot to cover, I'd like us to jump straight into it. So, I'm certain that we all know of the economic performance of our country, and it has decreased due to the current events. So, allow me to highlight the conditions that have directly affected the property market together with those that are yet to affect it in 2021. So, firstly, property as an investment has been experiencing an ascending movement, even though there was a global economic downturn because of COVID-19 pandemic. The Bank of Botswana lending rates were also reduced to 3.75 as a measure of stimulating credit growth. Household income is also slowly decreasing due to the job losses and pay cuts, and this has already started to affect the affordability of individuals. Our government also has put a halt on the issuance of new construction projects, leading to ultimately a decrease in the level of construction. I'm sure we all know that um, the government is the key driver of construction in Botswana. Another factor that will affect property is also the VAT, which is expected to increase on the 1st of April. And this increase may just result in an increase in rentals and, in some instances, property prices. the alcohol burn and the curfew have also affected businesses that are highly dependent on the after five lifestyle. Now, allow me to go into the different property sectors. I'll first start with the residential sector. We all know that this is a sector that most of us are interested in because ultimately, at the end of the day, we need some sort of accommodation. So, the residential market was already stressed before COVID-19 lockdowns with yields of 6 to 8%. Repossessions also had grown by over 40% over the last 3 years, with repossessed properties only achieving about 60% of reserve prices after having been put on the market more than twice in some instances. So in 2019, the total value of transactions were 1,055,478,973, and 66% of these transactions had occurred in the southern region, while the other 34% took place in the northern region. So, transaction volumes in the northern region in the first 9 months were down by 2%, but were up by 7% in the rest of the country. Also, the weakness in the southern region was heavily concentrated on the top end of the market as demand has been lowered. Properties worth more than 1.5 million transaction volumes were down by 8%, but on the more affordable range of 400 to 550,000, volumes were up by 7%. In 2020, due to the lockdowns, there was a decrease in the number of sale transactions, and the demand for residential properties, especially on the low to mid income housing, is expected to be very high with the existing supply overweight by demand in 2021. The demand pressures are mainly coming from growth in the population, migration to urban areas, especially Gaborone, um, and the tightening of economy, as most occupiers will want to reduce their expenditures due to the decrease in household income. We also expect an increase in default rates due to the job losses, which have affected affordability. An increase in the rentals is also anticipated due to the increase of VAT from 12% to 14% on the 1st of April. And the work from home trend, which is growing, may also trigger an increase in migration to the surrounding areas of the economic focal point, which may ultimately just lead to a redistribution of demand for housing. Now, moving on to the commercial sector, I'll start with the office and go on to retail and then the industrial sector. The office sector has not been performing to its fullest potential over the last few years. It has been characterized by the oversupply of floor space, particularly in the CBD area. The current vacancy rate is about 5.2%, and we expect it to increase going forward. In 2019, the asking prices for office space reduced by 1.5%, and the trend is likely to continue in 2021. Now, the current economic strain is subject to put more strain on the office space. Increasing growth of remote work has been adopted by various blue chip tenants, um, and it's leading them to rethink their office position in the operating structure. This will further dampen the office space, and we expect the office space or the office market rather to be tenant led in the short to medium term, with the growing pressure on the overall occupancy and rental levels as newly completed buildings with no significant committed tenants compete with existing stock. With more supply coming on stream and no immediate catalyst to boost the demand, the outlook remains cloudy. There is a need for investment activity in the office and other commercial related sectors, which would ultimately drive demand. Essentially, 2021 is expected to be a period of rental deflation and slowing escalation rates. The expectation of national rising vacancy rate implies a period of further deflation, and we expect a rearrangement in the way office space lease agreements are structured, with tenants asking for shorter leases with more flexibility, in spite of them being hopeful that the market will eventually recover. And then moving on to the retail market, the performance has been fair with vacancies of 5%. Over the past few years, there's been a significant supply of major malls in Gaborone, Palape, and France. The upcoming of malls of the same magnitude will lead to an oversupply of retail space, particularly in the Gaborone area. In the second quarter of 2020, a lot of retail stores were heavily dependent on rent reliefs and holidays, and this affected a lot of um, property companies as they lost over 12 million in some cases. In March 2020, the entertainment industry was temporarily shut down as a way of curbing the spread of COVID 19. And in 2020, government allowing them to operate their normal hours. And the curfew and alcohol ban have actually made it worse. And they have resulted in more harm on retail stores, particularly those that are dependent on the after five lifestyle. This result is this will result in complete closure of restaurants, bars, nightclubs, liquor stores, and possibly even the closure of brewing companies going forward, especially those that weren't doing so well prior COVID-19. And the liquidation of one of Botswana's biggest anchor tenants, Edcon Group, which includes Edgar's and Jet stores, might just affect the sector very hard because we are looking to see if the stores that will take up the space are willing to take up the entire space going forward. The industrial sector. This sector has been the most stable um, of the three commercial property sectors with prime yields of 9%, despite it being overlooked by a number of investors. And we are highly likely to see that it remains this way. The closure of borders has taken a toll on a number of retail stores as well as the transport and logistics sector, making it more convenient for them to actually stockpile their goods within the country in order to avoid delays and risking the shortage of stock. This is likely to result in the demand of warehouse and distribution centers going forward. And additionally, the growing e-commerce trend is also likely to increase the demand of industrial properties in the medium to long term. On the other hand, um, this sector, being the industrial sector, is also threatened by the manufacturing industry, which did not perform so well in 2020 as it declined by 5.8%. And if this continues, um, we might just see less of demand in terms of the manufacturing industry, as some manufacturers might just close down. So, but we are hopeful that things will get better with time. So, generally, the property market, before I close off, the property market has four distinct phases: the boom, slowdown, slump, and recovery. These are all determined by the demographic, financial, and emotional drivers. And the Botswana property market is currently on the second phase, which is the slowdown. And this is characterized by the affordability crisis due to the decrease in household income. The oversupply of stock resulting in an increase in vacancies for office space, a fall in construction. As I already mentioned earlier, the government has actually stopped issuing out tenders, and because it's a leading um, because it is a leading key driver, it is likely to result in a fall in construction, and eventually all this will lead to a slump. Now, to close off, I think the question that we may all have is, with all these economic conditions that are threatening the real estate market, um, would it the right thing for us to do is to leave you with a little bit of solutions. Like Mama Nage had already mentioned, we have market reports, which highlights the intensity of all these factors and how truly they affected the market in 2020 and the opportunities you are likely to come across, giving you an advantage in 2021. The document will be available for you to purchase by the end of March. We also have our YouTube channel, which gives you um, highlights of what's happening in the property market. We share a lot of intel there. And also, our Go Smart Value assists you to make, and its aim is to make valuations faster, reliable, and cheaper. You can just access all these platforms on our websites, www.vantageproperty. You can go on www.ghostmadvalue.com. And thank you so much. I'll just give Mama Nage to close off.
Thank you for joining us today.
And also, our Go Smart Value
I don't know if
assists
you
you
have
to
any
make, and
questions.
its aim is to make valuations faster, reliable, and
If we have any questions that we want to share, to talk about, to look at, and now let's have a conversation. Any comments, any questions, anything that we can deal with? Saying we should try and explain how or the value of estate agents and what they're supposed to do. Failing which, if there are no other questions, thank you so much and we hope to see you again soon.